Thank you, everybody. Wow.
Thank you so much. First thing I want to say is I love you back. Sit. Is why are you here, right? To me, when you speak, what matters most is can you bring value to the audience? And so I've been thinking quite a bit about this speech of like, what can I really touch on that isn't available for free online? Facebook and Instagram are free. And we sit and cry about the change in an algorithm. Here's where I'm at. For this entire room, the one thing that connects all of us, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you work somewhere, whether you're fucking thrilled, whether you're devastated, the one thing that connects all of us is that for us to take the step in what we're trying to achieve, whether it's financial, whether it's legacy, whatever it may be, we have to trade on attention. The thing that I desperately want everybody to leave this talk with is understanding that attention is just like real estate. And that attention is the gateway drug to everything you want, period. Before you can tell me how great you are, how awesome what you're selling is, you need my attention. The platforms that sit on top of this, you are fundamentally irrelevant. And so, when you think about sitting here and standing here, look, I have no interest in inspiring you for an hour and getting you pumped, and then next Thursday you don't do shit about it. That's not in with all these faces in the audience. I'm looking for one person who understands that this is such a remarkable time and that you need to go harder at it. Let me tell you the thing that upset me most in my intro. I'm extremely proud, maybe more than anything, that I went into my family business and built my family business for my family. Try to razz on me, easy for you. You were handed a $3 million. When they don't know my story, what I was handed was my dad had a liquor store doing $3 million a year on 10% profit, and what I did was work my face off 17 hours a day from 22 to 34, building my dad's business for my dad and my mom, and at 34 years old, I left Wine Library day to day with 0% equity in Wine Library and no money in my you, because you either hired somebody who's not good at it or you're not good at it. This debate is not a debate. They work, and they work so well that it's scary. So scary that the fucking founder has to sit in front of Congress. Seriously, I'm laughing at people. People go out to dinner with me, old CEOs, and yell at me for the first 30 minutes that Facebook's killing our democracy and sell shit. Like, everybody's so scared of it, yet you don't think it works to sell shit. Guys, this is the most powerful ad product we have seen since the early days of television commercials. So, when I see that many people stand up, please get educated. Please, and you have to understand why it's so awesome. You can run $25 and $50 at a time to get a sense of if it's working. Also, the biggest mistake in this room is your branding and selling. The number one basic issue in business right now that I've been blown away by because it came natural to me, I'm like, oh fuck, wait a minute. People are confusing branding and selling. The amount of people that just stood up that it didn't work for, they spent money to make a transaction, it didn't happen, they stood up and said it didn't work. What they don't realize is, first of all, the creative is the variable. If I stand up here today, I've got all of your attention, that's a victory. If this keynote sucks shit, I've accomplished nothing. I've accomplished negative impact. If you leave here disappointed, I'm like, he's not that good live, he's stupid, I lost. This was a waste of time. That's just like an ad. You can get in front of me at a good price, but if you're trying to sell me too hard and you come off like a douchebag, you've lost. Your banana jelly is better than some of Jesus Christ, where did this shit come from? What is banana jelly?
You're hungry!
Somebody's gonna fucking start a banana banana jelly company here, I know it. If you haven't convinced me that your banana jelly is better than my competitor's banana jelly, then you're not gonna buy it. Please understand this. Let me break it down very simply. It's why I set it up as the most important needs to spend money, whether you're a lawyer, financial advisor, sports trainer, nutritionist, you have a concrete, if your company paves people's fucking driveways, you need to run Facebook and Instagram ads. It is the most underpriced attention in our society. And let me tell you why. As I stand here today and regret not spending more money on Google AdWords, everybody in here will regret in 4 years. I promise you, if nothing else, I'm being very selfish right now in this advice. I'm being very selfish. I'm making a very big deal that you're not spending enough money in this platform, because I want you to remember in 4 years when you don't spend enough money in this platform and you actually have your eureka moment and realize how right I was. I want you to remember right now, Facebook and Instagram ads run between $3 and $8 CPMs. Between $3 and $8, you can get in front of 1,000 people's screens. Not 1,000 see it, you know how you roll through your screen. Over the next 5 years, when the biggest companies in the world, like Nike and BMW and IBM, when they really realize how bad television commercials are and how good this is, they're gonna pour their money in. What is gonna happen? The same shit that happened to me on Google. I used to buy the word wine and Cabernet and Pinot Noir for 5 cents a click. Now it's $4 and $11 and $18 a click. That shit adds up. At the same token, the way the ads work is gonna decline. In the beginning, when I was running Facebook and Instagram 3 years ago, it did better than it does now, because you're getting more shit now and you're starting to tune it out. Open rates on email went from 90% to 30%. This is one big game of cops and robbers. This is one big game of cat and mouse. When everybody here figures out that they should be doing it and everybody does it, it becomes more noise, and that's the fucking game. Right now, what you're doing with your allocation of content and ad spend on Facebook and Instagram is the same thing that happens in real estate when somebody knows they need to buy or debated to buy something in a hot up-and-coming area. They don't. Their friends did. It went up. It happened. Then they get sad. They get another chance to invest for $150,000 more, but because they fucked up and passed at $150,000 less, they say no again. 6 months later, it keeps blowing up. Now it's up 300,000. Now you're like, fuck again, because you passed. I actually love that I passed on Uber twice. I didn't see this. The quickest tell for me in 5 minutes when I hang with somebody, if they're a true bred or if they're not, is are they in it for the game or do they want to buy a watch? So, here's the story of Uber though. I used to pass on investments, they would blow up a little bit, and then I wouldn't invest again because I was salty because I passed on it at 4, and now I didn't want to put money at it at 60. I learned that lesson, and thank God, because when Uber came back around, I did invest in it, not as early and as crazy, but I made a lot of money and made the right decision because I left my emotions out of the table. Got it? A lot of you are not going on social media harder because some of your friends have more followers and you don't have the humility to start now and start at a low base. You're not doing it because you tried it and it's not worked in the past and you don't get it. What is happening right now is very simple. Attention is the only thing that matters for anything you try to do. There's a reason. I was born in the Soviet Union, right? Last night I hung out with a bunch of 99% of this audience is doing shit because they value somebody else's opinion more than their own. If I sat down with all of you one by one, I could figure out every dumb thing you're doing and trace it back to you're doing it to impress somebody or to prove somebody wrong. It's the biggest mistake you can make, and if you leave here with anything, the second you can get quiet in here and stop worrying about the judgment of others, the second shit starts actually happening. That gets even harder in today's new world of living publicly. But what was way more important is what Drago said, which is he said, I didn't fight Rocky for this country, I fought him for myself. And I was a young kid when that movie came out, and it has stuck with me forever. Some of you consume my content and know I talk a lot about, I don't care what you think about my losses. My L is my L. You're more than welcome to leave a comment and clown on me when I fail on something, when something doesn't work out. I have good news for you. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. The first 7 minutes of my talk here, I'm trying to educate. Listen to me, fuckers. Listen carefully. If you're not producing words, videos, or pictures for Instagram, Facebook, podcasting, YouTube, LinkedIn, and that world, you don't fucking exist, nor does your business. Listen, and do not have the wrong KPI. It's not how many likes or followers you have. If you got 1 follower and 1 like, but you were getting what you wanted for the content you put out financially or emotionally, you'd be super happy. Do not get caught up in the micro game of social. People always roll up at me, they're like, I have 1 million followers. I'm like, so? Like, what are you doing with that attention? What are you trying to accomplish, and what is your goal? And by the way, you want to make money? Mazel tov. You want to change the world? Mazel tov. I have no interest in judging your ambition. My interest is in, are you relevant? Snapchat stories, because Instagram has that feature too. You're a fucking idiot. And guess what? All of you did it. Attention is the asset. Everything you aspire for. Why am I building VaynerMedia? I'm building it because I want to build an attention Death Star. And if I need to point that at curing a disease that my mom gets one day, or helping my best friend become the governor of Florida, or to sell Google and run, how do I run pre-roll YouTube ads based on people's Google search query? Go home and DM 100 influencers on Instagram and ask them how much it costs for them to give you a shout out for whatever the fuck you're selling. The quicker you become a practitioner. Do you know how many people in this room have opinions on Facebook and Instagram ads, but have never run one? Too much headline reading. I can't say it enough. The reason this is the most selfish keynote I've ever given is because I'm putting a flag in the ground and telling you that everybody in this room needs to do way more content on these social networks, because it is where the attention is, it's where the underpriced attention is, and it is 100% how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Period, end of story. There is no advertising, there's content put in front of people that create an event, and I just am trying to, I can't say it enough. The reason this is the most selfish keynote I've ever given is because I'm putting a flag in the ground and telling you that everybody in this room needs to do way more content on these social networks, because it is where the attention is, it's where the underpriced attention is, and it is 100% how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Period, end of story. There is no advertising, there's content put in front of people that create an event, and I just am trying to, I can't say it enough. The reason this is the most selfish keynote I've ever given is because I'm putting a flag in the ground and telling you that everybody in this room needs to do way more content on these social networks, because it is where the attention is, it's where the underpriced attention is, and it is 100% how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Period, end of story. There is no advertising, there's content put in front of people that create an event, and I just am trying to, I can't say it enough. The reason this is the most selfish keynote I've ever given is because I'm putting a flag in the ground and telling you that everybody in this room needs to do way more content on these social networks, because it is where the attention is, it's where the underpriced attention is, and it is 100% how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Period, end of story. There is no advertising, there's content put in front of people that create an event, and I just am trying the shit out of it. Because let me educate you in non-tuition form. Who was the biggest advertiser in Google AdWords in the first 5 or 6 years of the platform? Amazon. Amazon today, no question, is one of the 1, 2, or 3 most powerful companies in the world on the back of amazing things that Bezos did. But do not get confused, the most important one. He and it bet heavy on underpriced attention. You know who else bet on underpriced attention? Muhammad Ali. You know who else? Elvis Presley. Some of you know I'm obsessed with this. I can't wrap my head around the fact that it's basically impossible to become a human being. There's nothing you'll ever do that is more remarkable or harder than actually being lucky enough to end. Like, you can't imagine the math behind you actually being a person. my question is, since you've won the ultimate lottery, like, what are you doing about it? Because way too many people in this room are dwelling about yesterday. That shit's over. And so if I can leave you with anything, it's very high and low. I've spent a good amount of my conversation here pushing you very aggressively to something practical. Wasn't here to rah-rah and tell you like the one fucking thing. Run some fucking ads, what I'm gonna say. But, because I genuinely believe that optimism is a strategy, I just desperately need you to know that no matter what you complain about, your grandparents had it worse. No matter what the fuck's about to come out of your mouth, your grandparents had it worse. And if you don't take advantage, if you're not winning right now in this new world, you really suck. And you need to face that truth. You need to go home, look in the mirror. If you're not pumped, if you're not winning by whatever your definition is, I'm telling you, this will help you. I'm not trying to razz you. I fucking want you to win. It doesn't come out of my expense. I need you to win. I want you to win. Why not? If you're losing more than anybody's ever lost, and I know that might be like, I get it. It's a little bit of a curveball, but here's why I need you to hear it. Nobody is stopping you. There's no man. There's no system. There's no government, there's nothing. It's fucking here. I'm telling you, it's fucking here. The internet doesn't give a fuck what your granddad's last name is. The internet doesn't give a fuck where you came from. It doesn't fucking care about your zip code. It doesn't care about anything. Execute on this fucking thing and realize nobody's stopping you, because what excuses are is the drug to not do.
Yes.
And I need people to leave complaining. You know why I have a happy life? Because I don't expect anything from anybody. Right? Like, expectations are a disaster. Get it out of the system, go educate yourself, and whether you're selling a t-shirt or a lifestyle brand or your thoughts on real estate, whatever you're up to, Facebook, Instagram. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, podcast. This is real. No matter how you're winning in direct mail or cold calling or bulk email or whatever the fuck you're doing, no matter how you're winning there, because I do all those things and understand them, the fertile ground is much greater here. And when you become a practitioner of it and you understand how it works, the ROI becomes disproportionately powerful. And I promise you, it is going away by the minute, because the second Budweiser and Nike, actually I'm gonna leave with this. How many now, basically outside of live sports, watch Netflix? Stand up. Stand up if you're business or out of business. It's already over. $80 billion. You can sit, because I gotta wrap up. $80 billion in television commercials, and nobody fucking watches them. Over the next 3 or 4 to 5 years, the biggest companies in the world are gonna understand that. That money is gonna go into the shit that I just told you about.